Tell me, we start again?
Yeah.
Should I start again? Okay. My name is Don Hayes, Hase, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I served in Vietnam from September 1967 to September 1968. And I served with the 3rd Battalion, 7th Infantry Regiment of the 199th Light Infantry Brigade. I was an infantry soldier. During that time, I had the pleasure to have a young man by the name of Jim Tinsley in my squad, and that's the conversation, the topic of the conversation right now. During the particular time I'm going to talk about was the Tet Offensive. The Tet Offensive was the largest enemy offensive of the entire Vietnam War, and it began on the morning of January 31st, 1968. Just prior to the Tet Offensive, a general who commanded the 2nd Field Force by the name of Fred Weyand, whose last name is spelled Weayand, he collected intelligence, he collected data that the Tet Offensive was in fact going to happen. And at this time what they did, they transferred 22 infantry battalions of the United States Army from the borders out in Cambodia, etc., transferred us all into the cities, into and around Saigon, figuring that this is where the offensive was going to take place. Now, on the morning of 31st of January 1968, we were situated at our battalion base camp. That was at a base camp called Binh Chanh, Binchchanh, 13 miles southwest of the city of Saigon. And the night we prepared for the Tet Offensive was quiet. The following morning, when we woke up, we looked towards the city of Saigon, 13 miles away. We saw huge clusters of black smoke, and we were advised on the Armed Forces radio station that Saigon was under siege. At 8 o'clock that morning, we were advised we were going to enter the city. We were the first combat unit to go in the city that morning, and that particular day I was assigned to Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 7th Infantry Regiment, 199th Light Infantry Brigade. Our company commander that morning was Captain Tony Smaldone. He led the company in. We went in by convoy. We were the first soldiers in. We went in 100 soldiers. We fought a 6-hour firefight to take a new base camp in the city that was called the Phu To Racetrack. Phu To was spelled Phutoe. Phuto. This was a horse racetrack that they raced horses on, but it was used currently by the Viet Cong, and it was wanted by us, the United States military, because we were going to bring replacements into the city by helicopter. So we fought for 6 hours once again to take that racetrack. It was a bloody battle. We did take the racetrack, the Phu To racetrack once again, which is in the Cholon section of Saigon, and that was our new base camp.
Jim Tinsley was with you at that time?
Later on, after we took the racetrack, that would be we, part of Alpha Company. The other companies from our battalion, including Elko, Delta, Bravo, Charlie, all the other companies joined us in Saigon. They were brought in by helicopter. And in this particular group of soldiers that were brought in was Delta Company. At that time, that was the company that Jim Tinsley was in. They were all brought into the city. From then on, for the next 2 weeks, we fought. We cleared the city. We fought the Viet Cong door to door. And then later on, we were transferred out of the city to try to take the South Vietnamese military to take the Viet Cong out. That did not work, so we were brought back in, and which leads us to the day of February 11th, 1968, and the fact that that was the date that Jim Tinsley was killed in action. He was a brave soldier, he was a good soldier, and they were trying to take a small enemy base camp in the suburbs of Saigon then, which today is right totally inside the city, and during that time they were ambushed by a large force of Viet Cong / North Vietnamese soldiers. The firefight ensued, and my old squad, which was the 2nd Squad, 3rd Battalion, 2nd Squad, 3rd Platoon of Delta Company, 6 soldiers were shot that day. 3 were killed in action, 3 were wounded and survived. That was kind of the close of the Tet Offensive for us. We withdrew from the city and went back to more or less our everyday operations outside the city near Binh Chanh. That's all I have to say on the battle at this time.